Conduct in the City Council chambers. Rules of decorum for the public. Members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of loud, threatening, or abusive language, clapping, whistling, stamping of feet, or other acts which disturb, disrupt, impede, or otherwise render the orderly conduct of the city meeting infeasible. A member of the audience engaging in any such conduct shall, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of the city council, be subject to ejection from the meeting per Government Code Section 54954.3C. Removal from the council chambers. Any person who commits the following acts in respect to a meeting of the city shall be removed from the council chambers per Government Code Section 54954.3C. A, disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior towards the city council or any member thereof, tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. A breach of peace, boisterous conduct, or violent disturbance tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. Disobedience of any lawful order from the mayor, which shall include an order to be seated or to refrain from addressing the city council, and any other unlawful interference with the due and orderly course of said meeting. Okay. Good evening, everybody. So nice to see all your smile. Thank you very much, smiling faces. Appreciate that. So nice to see everybody. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regularly Scheduled Meeting for Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. The City of Taft, I have to read this as housekeeping here. The City of Taft Council meetings are being held in person with full capacity seating and are live streamed at www.youtube.com/user/City of Taft. Masks are required to be worn by all attendees. Public comment can be made in person and also can be received per the following guidelines. Written comments may be dropped off in the drop box in front of City Hall. Comments may be emailed to City Clerk at ymayfield@cityoftaft.org. They may be made by phone to the City Clerk's office at 661-763-1222. Public comments will be accepted up until 5 p.m. the day of the meeting. Any comments received will be read into the record. We're going to begin this evening's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by myself, followed by an invocation from Pastor Deb Daniels. So if you'll stand, please, and join me. Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your blessing, your covering upon our city. We pray that you bless this meeting, Lord. Bless all of these leaders. We pray that you continue to pour prosperity, blessing, anointing, covering upon us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, sir. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor North.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
And Councilmember Eveland is absent with notice.
All right, thank you. First item on this evening's agenda is a proclamation for Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just turn it back over.
Oh, I was just hoping you would pass
I knew you
that
were trying
off.
to catch me off my guard.
Okay. I'm going to read this. I am fortunate enough to be a part of the program and one of the mentors, one of the many mentors that spend their time and their energy to help these young people. And it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever had the opportunity to do. Kathy Warren's in there, she's shaking her head, Mariana's shaking her head. To be able to start with these young people at the sophomore level and go through the lesson plan and watch them grow and watch them go from being 7 little individuals that barely talk to one another sitting at the same table to, in the end, when they're doing their senior projects, become a cohesive force that they rely on each other and they feed on each other, and their energy and their positivity is absolutely amazing. So I am thrilled to have had the opportunity and still get to do it, and look forward to meeting with them in person this year. So this is from City Council, City of Taft, State of California, Certificate of Commendation, presented to Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy. In recognition of being designated a top academy in California's in 2015 and receiving recognition as a distinguished academy in 2021. Whereas in the 2000 school year, Taft Union High School developed the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy, the first academy in the nation to focus on the petroleum industry. Whereas the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy has the only high school chapter of the American Association of Drilling Engineers, all others are at major universities. Whereas the strength of the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy comes from the huge support it receives from the local petroleum companies known as business partners, along with the participation of the approximately 40 mentors that donate their time to these students. I'm sorry, I'm having a little. Whereas in 2015, the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy was designated as a CPA Lighthouse Top 15 Academy out of over 400 academies in the state of California. And whereas in 2021, the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy received the 2021 Distinguished Academy for one of the top academies in California. And now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Taft hereby recognizes the Taft Union High School Oil Technology Academy for their hard work in promoting and teaching the petroleum industry to Taft's youth, and the distinguished recognition they have received for their outstanding representation of the Taft community. Dated this day, the 17th of August, 2021, signed by myself and all 4 members of the council. So, I did not give Fred a great deal of time to let him know this was going to be on the agenda, and I had to apologize to Fred and Barbara because they're very busy, but they sent a representative, and she's going to come up here and accept this, and then we're going to have a barbecue, and I want to present it to Fred then too, but...
Dave, do you want to do it in front of the city seal?
Well, absolutely. Mary Alice, if you'd come up here, please.
I thought a little variety this time.
I agree. Yes, ma'am, you may. I would prefer. Is this in the way? Let's get that out of the way.
So can you move your water bottle?
Oh, yes, absolutely. How's that?
Because that's, yeah, we need to tip the, when we were in there, that's perfect. That's much better. So, okay.
You want to take 7 more? Okay. All right.
Your GPS.
Maris, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank
for
you for
doing that.
recognizing us.
And would you like to say a few words?
I would actually.
Wonderful. I was hoping you would say that.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much. So many of you in this room are involved in one way or another with the Oil Technology Academy. So you already know, but I think it's important to say that although I have the privilege of being the principal at the high school, I am definitely not the one that makes this academy work. That is courtesy of our wonderful coordinator, Ted Pendergrass, and also the staff of faculty that he has working alongside him. They do a wonderful job for our students, and they had a wonderful foundation laid for them by Rick Woodson, who was part of the founding of this academy way back in 2000. So really and truly, it's an honor to get this proclamation from the city. We super appreciate the recognition, but it is done because of the work of the faculty at the school. We have a counselor that works directly with our students. We have a wonderful group, a community behind us, and it should be said that the 40+ mentors are really what makes this an exceptional program. There's a lot of academies in the state of California that are just in awe of how many business partners we have coming alongside of us and supporting us. So thank you very much for the recognition. We kicked off our school year the last 2 days, and you can notice that we're wearing black shirts this year, and that is on purpose because we recognize the impact of oil in our community, and so we have chosen to have black shirts this year in honor of that recognition. So this is a little nod to the oil impact in our community, and as Taft Union High School District, we want to honor that. So
Thank you very much. I know, like I say, it was short notice, and so you jumped up and made this a part of your evening schedule. So I sincerely appreciate you being here and all the work that you do. And like you say, what an incredible group of people all involved in this for the betterment of our youth. It's
absolutely.
fabulous
Thank you so
program.
much.
All
Very
right.
much appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay. Next up is a public hearing, zoning ordinance amendment regarding alcoholic beverage outlet regulations. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Section 612.5 of the Taft Municipal Code provides the regulations regarding alcoholic beverages outlets and various alcoholic beverage control licenses. The regulations were last updated in 2008 and have been found to be inconsistent with ABC regulations and terminology. The attached ordinance amendment seeks to correct the unclear language to aid future ABC license applicants for retail sales at stores and service at restaurants.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The recommendation is to conduct a public hearing, and I'm going to do that right now, so I'm going to open said public hearing. Is there anybody wishing to speak either on behalf of or against this zoning ordinance? Madam Clerk, did we receive any comments? All right, I thank you very much. In that case, I'm going to close this public hearing, and I would entertain a motion to approve and amend the City of Taft Municipal Code entitled an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft approving zoning ordinance amendment number 2021-01 and amendment of section 6-1-19 and 6-12-5 of Title VI of the Taft Municipal Code regarding alcoholic beverage outlet regulations for first reading by title only and reading of such be waived.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. You made the motion, sir. Any discussion?
No, sir.
Councilman?
No, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem?
If you don't mind, I have a couple of questions. So we're being more in compliance with the ABC in California for all of, we're being similar to all other cities on the updates. So we're more in compliance.
That is correct. These things have not been changed and updated since 2008. In order to make sure that we are in complete compliance and alignment, then it's a bookkeeping necessities. That is correct.
That's good. A question I have then would be, would that affect anything with the Oil Dorado we have out there in all the trails and stuff walking around?
I should think at this point in time that everything in preparation for El Dorado has been done according to that. It mostly reflects more full-time retail as far as dovetailing, so I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Excellent.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Madam Clerk, I have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
and Mayor Noor.
Yes. Passes on a 4-0 vote because one of us is not here. All right, next up, item number 3. Public hearing zoning ordinance amendment regarding wireless telecommunication facilities. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. Since 2012, the City of Taft received approximately 4 separate applications for wireless telecommunications facilities, with only 2 facilities being constructed. The planning director found that the regulations regarding wireless telecommunications facilities need to be updated from their original adoption in 2008. The attached ordinance amendment revises this section and moves this section to 61233 for clear and concise standards for wireless communications facility developers.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Recommendation is to conduct a public hearing, and I'm going to do that. At this time, I will open said public hearing. Anybody wishing to comment either for or against this ordinance? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, did we receive any communication regarding this? No, thank you very much. Therefore, I will close said public hearing. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve and amend the City of Taft Municipal Code entitled an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Taft approving zoning ordinance amendment number 2021-02, an amendment of section 6-12-8-1 of Title VI of the Taft Municipal Code regarding wireless telecommunication facilities for first reading by title only and reading of such be waived.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
No comments, sir. Thank you.
All right.
None here
Councilman,
No
Mayor Pro
comment.
Tem? All right. Neither do I. So I have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Crier,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
and Mayor Nor.
Yes. That passed on a 4-0 vote. Thank you very much. Next up, item number 4, public hearing on costs and placement of lien on abated property. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The property located at 204 North Street had an abatement cost of $843.17. The owners of record have been notified by certified mail and posting on said property in accordance with the City of Taft Municipal Code of the costs incurred during the abatement process. The owners were also notified of the time and place of this public hearing on costs whereby council will hear any objections or protests from the property owner or any other interested parties. If costs of the abatement are submitted or modified for the property listed below are not paid within 5 days from the date of the confirmation, the confirmed statements of expense shall constitute a lien against the property, and all such costs to be made a personal obligation against the property owner pursuant to section 38773 of the California Government Code, and Taft Municipal Code section 3-4.5-5 C and D.
Thank you very much, sir. Recommendation here is to conduct a hearing regarding the statement of expense. I'm going to open that hearing. Is there anybody here this evening to speak either on behalf of or against that expense? Madam Clerk, did we receive communication from anybody?
No, you did not.
Thank you very much. Therefore, I'm going to close said hearing. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adopt a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft approving and confirming the cost for the abatement of the nuisance at 204 North Street, Taft, California, APN number 031-120-28-0, in the amount of $843.17.
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any discussion,
I
Council?
just had one question, Mr. Mayor. City Manager Jones, I believe this is the same property that we did have a lien placed on last agenda as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, is this additional cost that we, okay, perfect. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Councilman?
Good.
Mayor Pro Tem?
No comment.
All right. This is all part of keeping the community safe and getting rid of any unsafe condition or attractive nuisance. So it's unfortunate, but it's part of what we have to do. So we have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Crier,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
and Mayor Nor.
Yes, that passed on a 4-0 vote. Thank you very much. Next up, item number 5, citizen request public comments. Comments are to be received as stated, in the above policy. This is the time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. This evening, O.C. Crawford, always a pleasure to see you, sir.
Same here, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here. You know, when I come here, I get a good feeling. I don't know why. I said this before, and it's very true. Anyway, most of you know a little bit about me. I'm the guy that's trying to bring about better relations within cities, between the people, the community, and government people, between all cities in Kern County. I have this notion of making Kern County the best county in America, all the best that we can be. So we've held some award banquets where we honored people. One year we honored all the mayors in Kern County. Then we honored all the Kern County Board of Supervisors. And this year, we're going to honor the men in blue, law enforcement. I think they need our support, especially coming from grassroots, little old common people like myself. Want the law enforcement people to know that we support them. They do an incredible job, one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, and we support them. Now, we know that everyone is not perfect. Matter of fact, we probably wouldn't be giving out any awards if we went by someone as being perfect. So we'll realize that people make mistakes. But nevertheless, if they're doing their best, this is what we want to encourage and promote by, in this case, honoring law enforcement, especially sheriffs. I've been doing a little study on sheriffs and realize they are incredibly powerful. Elected by the people, backed by the Constitution, they swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and to protect. The Constitution means we, the people, to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. And domestic.
Emphasis on domestic.
Yes. Yeah, we're honoring, the title of the banquet is honoring constitutional sheriffs and peace officers of Kern County. Again, we want to promote them and help, and we want them to promote the Constitution, to uphold their sworn oath. And we'll be handing out the little pocket-sized booklet that contains the Constitution, the amendments, and the Declaration of Independence. I understand that that is not taught in law enforcement. I think it would be a good idea if they understood what they're defending clearly. I like to see your beautiful smile and the young lady smile. It seems like a crime to have to cover that up. And we're also going to hand out the Nuremberg Code, the code that they developed after World War II, the Auschwitz, that disaster. They made a law that nobody on this planet can put something into another person's body without that person's informed consent. This is the law of the planet. So I just want us to kind of like wake up and be aware and come back to our senses. We have to fight for our freedom. The founding fathers said the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. So I'm not left or right or anything else. I'm not political at all. But I do believe in freedoms. I do believe in the Constitution of the United States of America. And this is what I am promoting. Because if we can live by the Constitution, we can have peace and respect one another's right to life and liberty, and their pursuit of happiness by any means necessary. This is the Constitution's guarantees that we have these rights. So again, like I said, I'm sounding like a politician, but believe me, I'm not. So this banquet is going to be held at hotels. Yes, they are open, and the food is still good. And we're going to have live entertainment. I think it's going to be a great time. And I do have to have some invitations in case you misplaced or lost or somehow lost the invitation. I can give you one if you're interested. And if you can't make it, you can have someone go that you think might be interested in attending something like this. So I think I'm done being a politician.
You know what? You're always welcome here, sir, and I appreciate that. Thomas Jefferson would appreciate the fact that you're handing out copies of the documents that he helped author. And I truly believe that those people in America who understand that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights appreciate what you had to say. Therefore, I appreciate that very much. And in point of fact, I'm going to dovetail into what you're talking about because we have one of the men in blue that serve and protect the people of the city of Taft. And I'm going to ask the sergeant to come up here and talk just ever so briefly about a very successful back-to-school backpack program that our police department is a part of and Sergeant Bilby is. So it's a surprise, but I would ask, because you brought it up and it's just a perfect way to segue into that, I would like, if you wouldn't mind, sir, if you would come up, Sergeant, and tell us a little bit about it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here, Council. Well, thank you for having me up here. No surprise. This last Saturday, we were able to put on our second Backpacks and Badges event. We were unable to do it last year due to restrictions. Our first event was the year prior. with the idea behind it of not only furnishing kids with the essential school supplies that they need, especially those that are in impoverished means and aren't able to do what other kids are able to. We wanted to give them an opportunity to shop for some school supplies. So we set it up almost like a store setting where each of the kids were able to go in, pick out their own backpack, fill it with school supplies, pencils, pens, glue, crayons, scissors, anything that would be needed to help them throughout their school year. We were also able to provide them lunch, snacks, drinks. We did have a play area outdoors. We were able to coordinate this with other agencies. California Highway Patrol was there, Kern County Fire Department. We turned it into an end of summer, back to school kind of blowout, something fun for the kids to do. And all in all, it was a huge success. We were able to give out between 340 to 350 fully equipped backpacks. We still have some extra backpacks left, and we're making arrangements to get those to kids that were unable to attend the event for various reasons. That was only a success because of the men and women and the businesses out here in this community believe in returning to this community. We believe strongly in our kids and our youth, and the moment you say that, hey, this is a need that we have for our kids, I didn't even have to go out there and solicit any assistance from people. People were calling my phone up and just offering to help, and it was so amazing to put this on. And when it was all said and done, just a huge thanks and appreciation from the kids that were able to attend. It was an honor just to be there. But huge success. We look forward to doing it every year and each year. Hopefully grow bigger and get to outreach to more kids. This year we were able to include high school kids with it. We did have a few more sponsors and the means to get a few more backpacks than we did the first year. But all in all, it was a huge success. So I was really pleased with it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for telling us about that. I mean, 50 backpacks is a huge impact on a small community like this. 350, 450 backpacks, that's incredible. That's fantastic.
Really well.
And to put it together the way that you did, what a great reflection as well to get the kids to come here and to be able to interface with law enforcement. And fortunately, they're not hearing all that garbage that's coming from way over there. And help them understand that, you know, we're all a part of a success and we're all part of the community. So I really appreciate you stepping up, because to tell the world I didn't ask you to do this, it was unprepared and I put you on the spot. But,
That's what I'm good at. So I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
all right, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sergeant. Okay, next up, always a crowd pleaser, Dr. Kathy Orrin with the Chamber.
Thank you. I'm kind of afraid. Okay, won't touch. Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to see you. I want to start by thanking the City Council for the gift that they gave us for the 4th of July fireworks. We had a wonderfully successful fireworks this year. And I have to do a special shout out to Taft High, because Amanda Posey brought the band, the Taft Jazz Band. I don't think that's the official name.
The Taft Brass Band?
Taft Brass Band, thank you. Regaled us before it got dark, and then the Taft High Concert Band set up and played in the dark as the fireworks were let off. It was awesome. So we had a great time, and we want to thank you for making that possible, helping to make that possible. We are kind of in a doldrums getting ready for Oil Dorado, but I wanted to let you know that we still do sit and sips on Wednesdays, and they are virtual. I think we will continue to have virtual sit and sips because people love being able to sit at work and just turn on their Zoom and enjoy the people that are sharing with us. Also, the people that we have for guests do not have to travel, and they appreciate that because, you know, it's farther to come to Taft than it is for Taft people to go anywhere else. So we've just learned that over the years. So tomorrow, Dr. Daniels, who you'll be hearing from shortly, will be talking to us about Taft College, and the week after, Suzanne White, who is the new athletic director at Taft High, will be sharing with us about Taft High athletics, and we're looking forward to both those guests. I want to just give you a heads up, the Oil Dorado store grand opening will be on Friday, September 24th at 10 a.m. at the Oil Dorado store on North Street. So mark your calendars, that's going to be total fun. So that will be a great time for everyone, so 10 a.m., September 24th, Friday. And that evening is a home game. We will be able to watch the Taft High Wildcats play at home. And it is service club night. So if you belong to a service club, you need to make sure you and your cronies are there, because every time there's a service club involved, there's a competition involved, just saying. So mark that down as a fun evening for you. And that's all I have this time. But I have to say, it's wonderful to be back. We're getting into the swing of things here. And although you're not sitting in your correct spaces right now, we're still in the building, and that's good.
That's it. We're closing in on it.
We are. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Kathy. For the record here, I'll let you shoot this. See? Centennial Oil Dorado. And you can shoot that part right there. Was that say I voted? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It does. Okay. Thank you very much. Next up, Deb Daniels, Dr. Deb Daniels, if you would, please.
Well, good evening, everyone. Mayor Noah, council members, it's certainly a pleasure to be here, and I echo Dr. Oren's sentiment that it's great to be back in person. And I know it's been a while since we've been able to do this, so I thought it was time to come and give you an update about the college. So first of all, I'd like to say that on August 23rd, we're back to face-to-face, and our students will be on campus. We are pretty much with our normal mix of face-to-face classes and online classes as we were before the pandemic. So our staff has been on campus for since July of 2020, but our faculty, this will be the first time that they're back totally, face-to-face. So it'll be a great time, and we've started to get some students in. Our TIL students are in on campus, and so it's starting to feel a little more like home. And then on August 25th, we will have the ribbon cutting dedication ceremony for our new student center building. And as you all remember, that it has taken us a long time to get to this point because of problems with construction. But I have to say that once we got Colombo Construction Company on board, we were able to get it finished in a pretty fast fashion, even though the pandemic and everything slowed us down a little bit. It is a beautiful building, and we're exceedingly proud of it, and I know that you will enjoy it. So I'm here to invite you all, and Mayor Noor has graciously agreed to give some comments at the ceremony, and so we're really looking forward to it. And please, I hope that you'll all come, and I'll leave some invitations with Yvette so that she can pass them out. So also, we are in the throes of planning for our centennial year. 2022, we will be 100 years old. And so we plan to have a year-long party. So we have some things planned. I don't want to give it all away, but we have a community breakfast to kick it off in January, a gala, a community barbecue, and some other great things all the way along. So be on notice that you'll be hearing more about that as it unfolds and we get all the details done. So anyway, I want to thank you all for your service to Taft and to our citizens. It's been a hard couple years, but I appreciate the support that you've given to the community. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Dr. Daniels. I have been watching the progress on the building, and I was aware of the start and then the hiccup, and you worked through that. And like you say, to actually finish it during the depth of the pandemic when supplies and supply chains were challenged for everything from steel beams to toothpaste, for heaven's sake. So to get that completed was something else. So congratulations. I look forward to being there at the ribbon cutting and seeing the beautiful building. Mostly, I look forward to seeing all the kids' faces. My God, am I looking forward to that. So thanks for coming in, letting us know, and enlightening us this evening. Okay, that is all we have for public comments this evening. So next up, we have council statements, non-action. Councilman Whiting, I'll begin with you this evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no comments tonight. Thank you.
All right. Councilman Bryan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple.
All right.
So to piggyback a little bit on Deb here, that building is beautiful. But as a proud, Cougar alum, I was a little bit perturbed when I saw that Bakersfield College was out promoting their new student center in the Bakersfield, California. So I still peruse that rag every now and again. So I reached out to Deb and I said, hey, I hope we're on the ball on this. And sure enough, they were. She responded right back. And so it made me really happy to see us promoting our college. And we've got a gym in here. There's 420 plus municipalities across the state, and only about a quarter of those have a junior college in them. We're one of them. That's something to be proud of. And to promote our college and to bring folks to Taft, I think is a wonderful thing. So kudos to you guys for getting that done. Glad to see students coming back. And on that note, of course, I think everybody kind of mentioned it, but we're back to school tomorrow with students at the high school. That's going to be a fantastic thing. This is going to be our return to full in-person instruction. So the first time you basically haven't had the option to do distance learning, which is fantastic. I am very proud, and I'm going to give kudos to Mary Alice and to the team at Taft High. They've actually been back on campus at various capacities since September of 2020. That was a monumental task. Many other districts didn't do that. So to have even the hybrid model and have kids be there in person was an amazing thing, but it's going to be amazing to have all 1,000 or 1,100 students back on campus tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of those times as a staff member, your first day of school is kind of a cool time too. Taft City Schools, I believe, starts on Monday the 23rd, so that's going to be an awesome thing. I just want to remind everybody, please be mindful as you're driving in and around the schools, especially in the morning. Pay attention to the no parking signs. Don't stop in the unloading and loading zones because there's going to be buses coming. Just be patient and be mindful. There's going to be kids crossing the streets. We all know at this time, parents and students alike lose their heads, so please be mindful. On that note, I want to say to Corey and to the folks of the TPAOA and the folks at the sister agencies that you had, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being amazing stewards in your community. It's not the first time and it's not the last time, but you guys continue to do that sort of thing, and believe me, it's not gone unnoticed. Thank you guys. On the back to school thing, since we're not going to meet before the next time we have these events, I want to remind everybody, August 26th, we have a home volleyball game, 6 o'clock, 6:15 p.m. These kids have not had people in person to support them for athletics until now, for over a year and a half. Get out and support those guys. It's our varsity girls volleyball team. Go get loud. On the 31st, we have a home tennis match at 3:30, so I'd love to have people out there supporting those kids as well. And of course, on Friday the 3rd of September, we have a home football game, varsity and JV, 5 and 7 o'clock. I have a sneaking feeling it's going to be bananas in terms of the amount of people that show up. I know that the festivities are going to be amazing, and I look forward to being loud and proud Taftians and Taft High supporters. Keep your eyes on your mailbox. Everybody should be getting ballots from our wonderful County of Kern Elections Department all across the state. As you see, I think some of us also already got ours, may have already sent them off. So I'm not telling you which way to vote, I am telling you to vote. If you'd like to vote via mail, you can mail that back. You do get confirmation, I believe, via text and email. If you don't want to vote via mail because you have no clue or you're not sure exactly how it's going to work, keep your ballot. Take it with you to your polling place. Drop it off there. That way you don't have to vote on a provisional basis. I know that was a big confusion point last time, so we'd like to avoid that if we can. And let's see here. The last thing I have, I don't want to pull the item, but I do want to say very much, for item 15, I believe is on the consent agenda, I want to say thank you to our Public Works Department. From everybody that's involved in that from the top down. I know from Craig's office, Yvette has a piece of this, our city attorney, and of course our Public Works folks. Those guys are able to squeeze 3 nickels out of every dime. I'm never unamazed at what we're able to do. Is it what we want to do all the time? No, because it's not what we can do. But we're able to do a heck of a lot with very, very little, and I'm constantly thankful for that. The item itself is obviously a little bit of extra revenue to help us support our efforts, and I think that's a wonderful thing. I appreciate the fact that we're able to look beyond the City of Taft limits to keep the west side clean. I only wish we would get more out of our services from the county so we don't have to put up those efforts, or we can redouble their efforts. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, well, that's quite a bit. Thank you very much. That's a lot of information. You know, I'm going to piggyback on just one little thing you said, the routes to schools, a critical component of what's going on. It has not been that way. You know, I have seen, this is personal experience, but it seems like the older the kids get, the more they ignore the fact that it helps if you push the button before you cross the crosswalk. So FYI, and I don't know if there's any way that you could, at the schools, remind everybody, you know, those things really help if you push the button, because then the lights blink and all those wonderful things happen. So all you drivers out there, be cognizant of it. We're going to have kids, and kids are on phones, and they got earbuds in, and I don't know where they are sometimes when they're walking down the street, but it is still our responsibility. However, I hope the kids know that there are buttons at those crossings, and
be used to pushing
utilize
buttons.
the crossings as well. So thank you very much for that. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Hope to keep this short. I'd like to let everybody that we are very blessed with the teachers that we have here, the administrators, in our school system here, and blessed with the kids that have opportunities that we have, like the proclamation that we had here about the high school oil technology academy. Those are things that help get secure better jobs, and they use for other occupations, not just for oil, but for other occupations, and they learn how to work with other students and working within the community. Those are things that I feel we're blessed here in Taft to have. And I just can't thank the teachers and the mentors, our mayor, Fred and Barbara Holmes, and many other, they're involved in that. And I was just fortunate, you know, to be part of it, you know, to be here to give those proclamations and reward, you know, let them know that we appreciate it. Another thing to do is that there's a lot of clubs in our town here, and they sure can use some help. We have the Rotary Club, we have the Kiwanis, with the Lions, the Seroptimists. If you're bored and you want to get out, go to the meetings, find a member, or look it up and find out what days they meet at and where. Participate, be part of the community, and help out, because it all goes to our youth to make this our town a better place to live at. And I encourage everybody to participate and join, because there's so many things here in town that's going on, that's happening. It's not boring. It's just too much, to be honest with you. And as you can tell, we got Oil Dorado coming up, and it's a big deal. Every 5 years we have this, except for this year, it took 6 years, but that's a big thing for our town. To show our pride that we support oil. We support what we believe in and have a good time in our heritage here. Our heritage here is oil, and you can't deny it. And I just want to thank, again, all the teachers and administrators and stuff that are teaching our youth in our school, because I'm really proud of our school system here, the colleges that we have here, and teaching people to succeed in their life and be part of a better part of our society. That's all I have to say, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Well, since I already dovetailed in on some of that, I'm going to go ahead and just move forward to the Planning Commission report. We have a planning commissioner here just dying to get up here and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I just rushed here. Well, good evening, Mayor, members of the council, city manager. Planning Commission had its regularly scheduled meeting, covered 2 items. One is a zoning ordinance amendment to address recycling centers. And that'll come back as an item for actual pass, probably at the next meeting. It was a introductory for our 2 new planning commissioners to see where we've been working on it. As you've noticed, we've been working on a lot of zoning code changes, and so got a couple of them today. And then the commission agreed that it was time to change the time of the meeting. We had originally, a number of years ago, started the meeting at 4 o'clock in order to allow one of our members to then be able to make night school. As she is no longer a part of that, the commission felt it was appropriate to move it back. And so it's been moved to 5 o'clock, largely to allow staff to work out covering the planning commission without having to go into too much of the time. And that is the 2 items that we covered. Any questions? Otherwise, have a good evening.
All right, thank you very much for the report. Next up, city manager statement. City Manager Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no statement tonight.
All right. City attorney statements.
He's not on, but he has no statement.
Best kind of attorney, a quiet one.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago he told us he wouldn't have any statements, so he's well ahead of the game. All right, future agenda requests this evening.
None here.
Hearing none, then we will move forward to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items 11 through 15. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Seeing none, these items are item number 11, the minutes for the August 3rd, 2021 regularly scheduled meeting. Item number 12, payment of bills, some $159,000 worth. Item number 13, approval of the Kern multi-jurisdiction hazard mitigation plan. Recommendation is to conduct a public hearing and a motion to approve a resolution entitled Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft adopting the updated Kern multi-jurisdiction hazard mitigation plan. Item 14, street closures for the 2021 Chamber of Commerce Car Show. Always a good time. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Kathy. Recommendation is a motion to authorize a resolution entitled Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft authorizing the street closures for the 2021 Chamber of Commerce Car Show. And then lastly, item number 15 is the Illegal Dumping Resources Fund. Recommendation is a motion to authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with the County of Kern entitled Agreement for Illegal Dumping Resource Funds. Does any council member wish to remove any of these items from the consent calendar?
None here.
Hearing none, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 11 through 15.
So move. Second.
Okay, I have a motion. I have a second. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
and Mayor Nor.
Yes, that passed on a 4-0 vote. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I am going to hand the gavel over to Mayor Pro Tem so that we can go into the Taft Public Finance Authority annual meeting. So, there you are, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I open up the Taft Public Finance Authority annual meeting agenda for August 17th, 2021. Roll call, Madam Clerk? Do we need roll call?
I just need to get the right agenda. Chairman Cryer,
Yes.
members of the board, Bryant,
You here?
Whiting,
Here.
and Nor.
Yes, here.
Okay, item 1, I will defer to our Madam Clerk for the seating of new directors.
Dave Nor and Orchel Cryer were re-elected to the City of Taft City Council and were duly seated as members of the City Council in December 2020. Article 2, Section 2 of the Authority Bylaws provide, among other things, that A, directors shall be members of the City Council of the City of Taft. B, directors shall hold office for a term that is coextensive with their respective terms as members of the City Council. Each appointed director shall hold office until the expiration of the term for which appointment or until a successor has been appointed by the city. Mr. Knorr and Mr. Cryer have executed the oath of office as members of the City Council and are hereby declared seated as directors of the Taft Public Financing Authority.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 2, elections of officers. Recommendation would be the board members to elect a chairman and vice chairman of a Taft Public Financial Authority and appoint a secretary of a Taft Public Finance Authority and appoint a treasurer of the Taft Public Financial Authority.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could make a motion?
Yes, Councilman Whiting.
Motion would be to keep the current directors as they are in place for this next term for the Taft Public Financing Authority.
I'd second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call for that.
Director Knorr,
Yes.
Director Whiting,
Yes.
Director Bryant,
Yes.
and Chairman Cryer.
Yes. Okay, number 3, citizens' requests and public comments. This is a time and place for the general public to address the authority on matters within their control. State law prohibits the authority from addressing any issues not previously included on the agenda. The authority may receive comment and set the matter for a later meeting. Please limit comments to 5 minutes. And I don't believe, do we have anybody in the audience or anybody on the phone to put a comment? And I hear and see none. Then we'll go on to consent calendars for items 4 through 6. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a board member of the authority requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendars for separate actions. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business item. 4 will be approval of minutes for August 18th, 2020, annual meeting. 5, comparative analysis of changes in fund balances, revenue bonds of 2019 police station and redevelopment projects. Recommendation is the motion to receive and file the Taft Public Financial Authority comparative analysis of changes in fund balance, revenue bonds of 2019 police station and redevelopment projects. Number 6, the ratification and authorization of actions by officers of the Taft Public Finance Authority. The recommendation would be to motion to ratify officers' action on behalf of the Taft Public Financial Authority for the 2021 fiscal year and authorize the officers to perform these duties on behalf of the corporation for the upcoming 21-22 fiscal year. Do I have a motion to?
So moved.
Second.
Excuse me. Is there any comments from the public? Anybody up here? No comments? Okay. Now a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second.
Thank you. Roll call. Madam Clerk?
Director Knorr,
Yes.
Director Whiting,
Yes.
Director Bryant,
Yes.
and Chairman Cryer.
Yes. And it all passed, 4 to 5. Now we'll adjourn the Taft Financial Authority annual meeting. And
Thanks, sir. I'll pass the gavel to President Josh Bryant of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, we'll call the order of the meeting of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation for our annual meeting here, August 17th, 2021. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
President Bryant,
Here.
Board Member Cryer,
here.
Board Member Whiting,
Here.
and Board Member Knorr.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item 1 on tonight's agenda is a seating of the new directors, and I'll hand it off to the clerk with a statement.
Dave Knorr and Orchel Cryer were re-elected to the City of Taft City Council and were duly seated as members of the City Council in December 2020. Section 2.2 of the corporate bylaws provide, among other things, that A, directors shall be members of the City Council of the City of Taft. Directors shall hold office for a term that is coextensive with their respective terms as members of the City Council, and each appointed director shall hold office until the expiration of the term for which appointed or until a successor has been appointed by the city. Mr. Knorr and Mr. Cryer have executed the oath of office as members of the City Council and are hereby declared seated as directors of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With no action on that item, we're going to move to item 2, which is the election of officers, with the recommended action being that board members select a member to serve as president of the Taft Public Improvements Corporation, to also select an individual to serve as the secretary of the Taft Public Improvements Corporation, and lastly, to select an individual to serve as treasurer of the Taft Public Improvements Corporation.
Director Bryan, if I may make a motion.
Yes, sir.
That would be to go ahead and keep the current directors and officers of this Taft Public Improvement Corporation the same now until the expiration of the term next year.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I would second that motion, sir.
Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Gentlemen, any further discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call on that item, please?
Board Member Knorr,
Yes.
Board Member Whiting,
Yes.
and Board Member Cryer,
Yes.
and President Bryant.
Yes, that item passes on a 4-0 vote with 1 absence. Item number 3 on the agenda tonight is citizens' requests and public comments. Madam Clerk, have we had any public comments submitted? Is there anyone in the crowd that would like to submit a comment? Seeing none, I'll dispense with the minutia there. Move on to item number 4 through 6 is the consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be deemed routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member of the corporation requests a specific item or items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Looks like we have 3 items total. Item number 4 being the approval of the minutes from the August 18th, 2020 annual meeting, with the recommended action there being approving the minutes as submitted. Item number 5, which is the Taft Public Improvement Corporation comparative analysis of changes in fund balances. Recommended action there is a motion to receive and file the stated report. And item number 6 is the ratification and authorization of actions by officers of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation, with the recommended action there being to ratify the officer action on behalf of the Taft Public Improvement Corporation for the 2021 fiscal year and authorize officers to perform these duties on behalf of the corporation for the upcoming 21-22 fiscal year. Is there any members of the public that would like to talk about an item on the consent calendar? Seeing none, any members of the council would like to pull any of these items?
No, sir.
Seeing none at this time, ma'am, can we have a roll call vote on the consent calendar, please?
Need a motion.
Oh, excuse me, I need a motion. Is there a motion on the table for those items?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Thank you.
And I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Now we can have the roll call vote. Thank you.
Board Member Knorr,
Yes.
Board Member Whiting,
Yes.
Board Member Cryer,
Yes.
and President Bryant.
Thank you, Madam. Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. That concludes the business for tonight for the Taft Public Improvements Corporation, and we'll adjourn said meeting back to Mayor Knorr and the City Council meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. I will now reconvene the Taft City Council meeting for August 17th, just in time to go into closed session. We have 2 closed session items. Item number A, which there was a typo in the threat to public service closed session item, and the government code was inadvertently left off. Since there is nothing that needs to be discussed, this item is going to be removed from closed session. Therefore, we will have one item. Item B, conference with labor negotiator Craig Jones, city manager, government code section 54957.6, all units. I will now adjourn this meeting to closed session. Thank you all for being a part of this evening's festivities.